live now. Well, actually, I wouldn't say we had like crazy technical difficulties. I just couldn't figure out how to make my other office computer show a nice logo.
Or dungeon.
Yeah. So the workaround right now, you guys see a black screen on the screen, right? But what we've actually done is, I don't know what Karen's put in front of the camera, but she basically blacked out the camera. I couldn't figure out how to turn off that camera and show like a screen. So if you guys know in the chat how to do that, you let us know. But yeah, it was pretty funny because the alternative to that was an empty chair, a chair that I haven't replaced.
Not just an empty chair, a chair. It's like a prison chair.
You know what I think it is? Is the
That's
wallpaper.
been through.
Yeah, I thought I might be able to put a wallpaper up, but I couldn't figure it out. But listen, this, like, the fact that we got these 4 squares filled, like, I'm very happy right now that, like, the mics are working, audio's working, everything. Like, we don't have a complete shit show like we did last week. But it does look like an escape room
Yes.
kind of set. Like, did it look like an escape room set, like from your video games?
Yes.
No, it kind of looked like hostage in there.
Yeah, and the chair, and the chair, I haven't replaced in almost 10 years, and I refuse to let go of that too.
It's been through
it
some
said it was-
hard times.
No,
It-
no,
it said-
actually, no. Your chair is newer than mine and everything here, but Ben Lau being himself, like, he didn't want me buying these same chairs for him because they were too low on the backside. So he's like, I need to, like, lean back, and I need a high neck chair. So I was like, whatever, buy it for yourself. And that's the chair he got. And it was like, obviously cheap chair that Ben Lau got.
Yeah, you remember that movie from the 80s, The Jerk, right? The Jerk with Steve Martin. He loses all his worldly belongings. He gets really rich, and then he loses everything, and then the only thing that he gets to keep is his chair, right? That's me and my chair, and my old ass computer. It's just those 2 things. When I lose everything in the whole world, those are the 2 things that I'm gonna hold on to. But the leather's falling off. Like, I looked into like what it would cost to reupholster it. Have you guys ever reupholstered chairs before, or you guys just toss it out?
But it's expensive to do anything.
Yeah.
To upholster anything is it's
Just
you're
get
better
a
off just buying a new one.
Yeah, get a new chair. Oh my gosh.
But it's such a comfortable chair.
It's
But
not
it
even an
just looks ugly.
expensive chair. Oh my gosh. Can you
But
stop
It was
it?
like-
a seat
It was
cover.
like
You can buy,
$250
like, a
bucks.
nice
It was like $250.
Just
I
buy a
It's not
seat
cheap.
cover.
Not expensive.
Yeah, I'm not there yet. Buying expensive ass chairs. That's crazy. Well, even $250 is pretty pricey. Anyway, this is the pre-show, guys. We have 5 minutes to shoot the shit, just to make sure all our tech's working. I'm not even on Instagram today. And by the way, I think I'm on the Focus AF Summit group, and
I check?
also the podcast group. So if you guys don't mind, can you guys take a look, check out the Focus AF podcast group, and I will monitor my kick-ass group. All right, just give me 1 second here.
The summit group is working. Let me see.
Yeah, I see Summit Group. I don't see.
The Summit group, there's one person joining from there.
Yeah, I
And
can
if
see
you
on
guys-
the. I can
yeah,
see
if
in
you
the
guys are
podcast
there-
community.
Yeah, if you guys are there, come in and say hi, so we know where you guys are joining us from. This is another special episode. This is another special episode where we're streaming to everywhere where people know us.
But where Karis is, why am I here?
Gary Fang is in the house. He says everything looks good. Mike Z says row, row, row your boat. Do you get that a lot? Like, do you get that?
I have. Nothing new. Nothing new.
Nothing new. What else? John DeFiore is here. He says,
outta
I want to
here.
reupholster Rose couch pillows with my face.
No.
So, he's getting dirty in here. He's only the fourth comment in here. Mike Z says, I spent a lot of money on those chairs everywhere and raved about Herman Miller. Very overrated. I like the one I found on Amazon better. So actually, I got the shoes over at Staples. So I went over to Staples and I literally sat in every single chair that they had in the store. I was like, okay, I like this one, and I brought that one home. That's what I did. I'm very old school like that. Because the thing is, if I like chairs are pretty serious. Like chairs, shoes, pants. You can't just buy that stuff on Amazon. You gotta like buy that stuff in person.
Yes, you can. But
You can, yep, and return it. If you don't like it, just send it back.
Yeah.
That's a pain in the ass. Like I just want to just leave with
Not
it. If I
really.
buy something, I'm emotionally attached to it already.
Okay,
Fabienne is here. Fabienne, how are you? Fabienne, how are you? I'm sorry we missed you last
Are
week
you
at last
alive,
week's class.
Fabian?
Fabian, he went to Vegas for the first time, went to WPPI for the first time, and I think he barely made it out 48 hours. His first night there, he was already like drunk, and then by the following morning, his shirt was already down to his belly button. It's like already opened up. Oh my gosh, it was the funniest thing. It was like 8 in the morning. He strolls in, and his shirt's all the way down to his belly button.
Oh,
So funny.
funny.
All right. So Eric says, I can't wait to be one of the special ones. John Ferrer says, Sweet Moses has entered the chat. Is Moses here? Moses gets a cameo everywhere we go. He's like our extra cast member. Eric Kessler is here in the house. Am I the only one building Legos and watching? No, I don't know if you're the only one building Legos or not, but
Most likely.
you might be the only one building Legos. Yeah, maybe. I have some Legos that I bought for the kids like years ago, and
We have so many Legos.
they still have not been built yet.
So
Oh,
many.
man. I
There's
had
a
a
Harry
few.
Harry Potter castles that I think Grayson started building during COVID. It's like still like half like you may have lost pieces.
Oh
like-
yeah, for sure.
Yep.
Um,
These kids spoiled.
yeah, these spoiled. So you guys shot this weekend, right? You guys actually you guys shot yesterday, right? So are you guys fully recovered?
A
It
little
was
bit. I have
a
coffee right now.
rough first 10 minutes there. Well, on the drive, Ro realized he forgot his hold fast.
Yeah.
So he
my-
had
my
a no
camera
strap
sling.
it for the whole day.
There was a plus to that. My back appreciated not holding up 2 cameras for 10
Yeah.
hours.
Yeah.
So what was
that
your
something new.
so you just held one camera? I imagine it's probably your ZF, right? Your ZF.
No, I kind of approached the day of like, all right, I haven't used my Z8 too much. Let me just shoot most of the day with the Z8. So I did that, and I kept the ZF in my bag next to me. So I just kept going back and forth if I needed to change my focal length.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
it didn't hinder me at all. It just for certain points of the day, I would have to give my camera to Jen so I could grab my bag or get something out of my bag.
Yeah.
But
Yeah.
She's your VAH, your voice activated hold fast. You know, she just holds all your shit.
but
100%.
it won't happen again to me ever again.
Yeah.
Well, I have a spare. I think I told you this in the chat yesterday. Like I have a spare, like shitty like a hold fast knockoff, in my bag for times like this. You know, because I don't know what to do with myself if I didn't have all my straps. But I went the opposite direction. I went the opposite direction yesterday, or this weekend rather. I had 3 cameras on me.
That's what I do when I'm shooting film.
Yeah, I had 2 Z8s and a film camera,
Yeah.
and it was my first time shooting film in over, I want to say, 24 years. I have not handled a film camera, and even then it was a
How'd it go?
point and shoot. I don't know yet. I just submitted sent the film off for processing. So I'll keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully I got my settings right. So I don't know. I was using
It's gonna come
the
back.
meter.
Well,
It's gonna come back
number
all
one,
black.
He had the film ISO wrong.
Oh,
So he set it to like 800 where the film was actually like 400. So I was like, okay, so.
So that means my pictures will come back underexposed.
well, if you should have kept that at that ISO, and just when you send it to develop, you tell them to push it one stop or pull it.
Up.
I forgot whichever one it is to go up, and everything would have came out fine.
Mm-hmm.
So
John
there's
DeFioro
things to
could
be
probably
learned.
tell us. Yeah, but I didn't know what notes to put in. This was my first roll. I'll keep my fingers crossed. Hopefully it'll turn out okay. So, but it was a lot of fun, like shooting with intention now, because I
Right.
know I only got 36 frames in there, right? So I had to slow down considerably and had to be very selective in what I wanted to shoot. I wasn't just gonna spray and pray anymore because it's gonna
Yep.
be fucking expensive, man.
It's like
Like-
$1.50 every time. $1.50.
Well, Karis sent me to a place called the Fine Lab, Have you ever heard of it?
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And we got I submitted it for the top whatever it is. So I don't know if that does anything, but
I was like, you can send it to anywhere. Do your research, right? He's like,
Yeah.
oh, which one did you?
she wanted me to go to like Target, right, or Walmart to get it developed.
No,
While
don't do that.
while she goes to like the nice professional labs,
No,
she's trying to
no.
send me off to Walgreens to get this
I
developed.
was
I'm
like,
like, that's
"You're
not
unique
fair.
or something, right?
No, don't go to Unique. I got a role developed there. It was disaster.
Really?
Oh no.
Yeah.
Yeah, but yeah, and I was like, well, you have to do your research, right? And he's like, which one did you use? I was like,
She's holding secrets from me, right?
Yeah.
She's keeping secrets from me.
She wants you to fail.
She- after she gives me her old camera so she can upgrade to a new camera, right? Yeah. So anyway, John DeFura says you can have them push and pull. I have a feeling he's making
Right.
a dirty joke there. And then
That's what he likes.
there's a Fabian Calkins who's also here. So he's just here for the lurking. That's fine. You can just hang out with us for the next hour. Just listen to us like shoot the shit for a little bit. John DeFura said he shot last weekend at the Old Mill Inn. Slept 10 hours the following day.
Nice.
Oh no.
That's the best way to recover.
What, coughing my lungs out?
No, sleeping for 10 hours.
Well, yeah, I had a work hangover on Sunday, so I don't know how you guys are feeling today.
Not bad.
I feel great, honestly. Yeah.
really?
I feel great. Yeah.
I'm still hungover from all our conference trips.
Really?
I'm exhausted.
Been like 2 weeks, Karis.
I am so exhausted.
All right. So anyway, we talked a lot about conferences last week, right? And then we lost a little bit of time talking about other stuff too. So I was hoping today we were going to be talking about your booking spree, all of you guys. We had a little bit of I personally had a booking spree as well. I booked another one last night as well. Maybe we can talk about it a little bit as well. But right before the conferences, we were a little bit worried that, that maybe the inquiries were kind of slowing down to a crawl, but all of a sudden they all came in all at once. And I think last week we were talking about how you were trying to, at least for this year, you're trying not to have appointments. You're trying to
Yeah.
screen them.
Mhm.
You were trying to screen them harder, but they're still going for it anyway. So whatever you guys are doing is trying to screen them. It's not working. They still want you guys. So so maybe we could talk a little bit about that, all right? Because whatever you're doing in your marketing and your branding and all that kind of stuff, especially you and Karis, right? Whatever you guys are doing, the people, when they reach out to you, they're ready to book. They're ready to rock and roll. At this point, it's really just a formality when they meet with you guys. Am I right?
Yep.
I mean, what is your closing percentage when they meet with you?
Well, it's hard to say now, but I know from when we were having a ton amount of consultations, we were more like in the 45-50% range. Right now, we've only been doing this new tactic for a couple of months, so it's hard to. We have to look at the numbers to really see like the difference now. But we were having way too many meetings. It's so easy to meet with people now through Zoom that
Mhm.
people in the past people would come to our office, sit down with us, and get to know us. So they had to put a little bit more effort in the process. Now it's like so easy. They book an appointment, they meet with people on Zoom, and I think a lot of potential clients are meeting with the wrong people, just because it's so easy to just have like 6-7 meetings scheduled in 2 days.
Mm-hmm. But now that you're making it harder, well, not harder, but you're putting up more hurdles for them to. I wouldn't even say hurdles, but you're making them do more stuff or read more stuff before they get to
Mhm.
you. But once you get them in front of you, do you feel that that you're booking more? Your closing rate's a little higher. See, it sounds like you are.
Yeah, it's a little higher because I think they've kind of educated themselves before the meeting, so they know what they're getting into when they get on.
Mhm.
But still, there'll be hit or misses. Like one turned us down recently because they used someone that their friend used, so it just it still depends. Like they know what they're walking into price wise when they walk into the meeting, but there probably might be some other factors.
Hmm.
But that 1 week in February where we had 8 meetings, we booked 6 of them, and they had all
That's
checked all the time, the pricing and everything in advance.
that's a pretty high closing percentage. 6 out of 8.
Hmm.
That's six is more than what a lot of people have for the whole year. So that's pretty awesome. So where are these people finding you guys?
It's been a mix. Our biggest sources are Instagram and referrals. As far as like we use a friend, or like we did the friend's wedding or a family member's wedding. So those are
Hmm.
usually a higher turnaround for sure.
Yeah,
Um,
the closing rate for those are generally a lot higher. Um, these are all past client referrals. What about referrals from like vendors and venues and things like that? Are you getting much traffic from that?
Mostly through not the venue or the vendor themselves. It's more of like what I've tagged them in on Instagram. So like people always contact us for Perona Farms. We're not on Perona's preferred list just because we work there enough as it is, and I don't want to be there
Hmm.
30, 40 times a year. But I still do tag them and on Instagram. So like if it's
People
coming
see
from
that.
like, yeah, exactly. So it's like a side kind of like venue vendor referral because they see us tagged in those profiles.
It's kind of like a perpetual loop, right? That you once you start, it's really hard to get out of, and for some people, they don't mind, working at the same places over and over again. But the thing is, it's a self-feeding loop, meaning the more you post about the venue, the more of that work you're gonna get, right? And and that cycle is gonna be hard to break. So if I'm posting 3 times a month, or maybe even more about the Maritime Park, I'm just gonna get more Maritime Park weddings.
But you
So
love
Maritime,
going back so much, so
I
it's
don't mind it, right? But the thing is, Perona Farms is to you guys as Maritime Park is to me. Like I just
Exactly. Yep.
post so much work there that's all I get. I think Karis has a similar experience with Arrow Park, which is
Yep.
the venue that she works at a lot.
Yep.
So, babe, like how many um, appointments or how many inquiries did you get for
I think
Arrow Park?
around the time Jen and Ro booked that 6 wedding, I booked like 4 to 5 weddings that week too.
Mm-hmm.
One was Perona, and I think like 2, 3 was for Arrow Park, and I
oh
just
wow.
closed another one for Arrow Park. Like this bride held on to the contract for like 20 days, and then she finally like, oh, I signed it, and
Well, what was holding them up? What was holding them back
well,
from?
she's like really slow to respond to like anything. From
Did you
her
follow up? Did you follow up with
yeah,
her when she
yeah.
ghosted
Even
you?
our inquiry to meeting took like week and a half. And then I met with her, and then she's like, oh, send me the proposal or contract. And then I send it to her. Like, I don't know, a week to 2 weeks go by. I followed up once, and then she had 3 questions, and then another week like passed. It was like really slow process.
A
And then
lot of people are like that lately. They're
yeah,
so
yeah, yeah.
slow.
And then her
Yeah.
wedding is like this summer. Like, it's not even like far.
What are you waiting for?
I'm like, and I
But I
have
will.
one proposal out for this August too. I met with her this Friday. She's getting married this August.
Wow.
We are seeing a lot of shorter timelines.
Yep.
I'm still getting inquiries for this year, so
Yeah.
that's a little curious. I got some for this summer for crying out loud.
Yeah, it's
So
August.
yeah, we got
This
some for this
summer
summer.
is busy.
Right?
It's such a weird year too. Like May, I think we have one wedding. We usually have like 5 or 6 weddings every May. May we have one. July we have 7 weddings. Like that's not even. It's such a crazy year.
Yeah.
Everything is all screwed around.
Yeah.
I did talk to some of the venues because I met with a couple of venues with their management team and their sales team and everything, and I had a little chat with them. And what they shared with me was that this year was a down year for them too. And it wasn't because of the volume that they were doing. It wasn't really a huge cause for concern, like a huge cause for concern. They lose 10 or 20 weddings. It's not the end of the world. However, it is a down year overall, right? There are some outliers, like Perona Farms being one of them. I think Park Chateau being another one. The ones that do like a really high volume, they can host 2 to 3 weddings at a time. I think they're doing okay. Yeah, Because I think you told me yesterday while you guys are working, they were doing like you must have seen at least 5 tours within the first hour,
Yeah.
right?
Every
Yeah,
time I was go
yeah.
by the main reception with the refinery,
It's always
another couple was coming out. 2 minutes later, another couple was going in.
it's
They had to
crazy.
at least 5 or 6 site visits yesterday.
So if anything at all, I hope that this kind of dispels the rumor or dispels the myth that people aren't getting married or like people aren't booking these big weddings because I wouldn't say that anyone who gets married in Corona are doing small weddings. You're looking at least 100 to 125 people in the guest list, right?
Yeah.
Who else was busy? Who else said that they were busy? Corona was busy.
Rock
Park Chateau
Island.
also Park Chateau is not doing a. They might be doing 100%. I don't know. They're doing 100% weddings actually.
No,
That's
their
a,
minimum is like
They do.
145, 150.
No, they do, but it has to be like on a Tuesday, Wednesday, or Thursday.
well, they shared with me that they were doing triples and quads for the next 2 years.
Yeah.
So there's like a 2-year waiting list. I know Rock Island's crushing it. David's Country Inn, another small venue, they're crushing it. They're not a wedding factory. Bear Brook is probably staying pretty busy too. So, people are still doing the big weddings. So, maybe, some of the venues are sharing with us that it's slightly down. So maybe there's a little bit of truth in that, but I wouldn't say it's like, back to when the world shut down and then we were literally shooting nothing. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. So, as far as your Instagram strategy, right? You said that a lot of your work comes from Instagram. As you probably know already, I'm not on it.
The worst.
I'm the last person you need to be talking to when it comes to Instagram strategy. I know a little bit, like I know what I'm supposed to be doing, but I don't really do it because I'm busy doing other things. But and also there's no urgency for me to do it because I get my leads other ways. You know what I mean?
The old
Maybe
school
we'll
way.
talk. Yeah, the old school way. And the reason why I do it the old school way is because that's the way that business has been done for hundreds, thousands of years. And the ways that we communicate with one another, those methods might change a little bit, but the core of it is still very much the same. Where you're taking care of the people who take care of you. Okay, but in any case, let's talk about your Instagram strategy real quick because that's nice and sexy. People like to hear about that kind of stuff when it comes to marketing, right? So
Yeah.
what are you guys doing exactly with your Instagram strategy that's getting you guys bookings?
So Instagram, I guess, and I spoke about this on the summit, is how like we all have a love-hate relationship with it, where we just don't want to do it, get too complicated to figure out how to do it, what to do, and it's basically become our entire career. We're content creators now, especially if that's how you want to sell your product or your service. 95% of what you're going to do is content creation for social media marketing. Like that's just the way of the world now. So for me, I've really dived into doing a mix of everything, showing a lot of us personally, making sure I collaborate with other vendors, venues.
So
serve
you're inviting them to be a collaborator so you can get access to their audience directly?
Well, I don't use the collaborate feature as often as I should. What I mean by that is that I'm not just holding the content to myself, right? Like I'm tagging, I'm sharing with them so they can use it, so they can repost.
Mhm.
And I'm not just posting about myself and my work. I want to make sure that everyone's getting their due credit: hair,
Mhm.
makeup, venue, photographer, videographer, whoever the case may be,
Mhm.
and making the content for everybody, basically.
Oh, that's cool. So you're already I think that's very smart. So they don't even have to do anything. All they have to do is just share it. So you created the content for them to share. That's pretty smart. Save them a step. I think I might steal that. But
I'll tell you
I'll
one
give it to
story.
Abby. I'll give it to Abby to do.
A couple of years ago, we booked a wedding, and they found us because we tagged the band like 2 years prior.
Yep.
And
Wow.
and yeah, so they were going through like the band's Instagram, and they were searching all the stuff that they were tagged in, and boom, they see a wedding
Mhm.
portrait, and they just went to our page, liked our work, emailed us, and we booked them. So
Mhm.
these are little seeds that you're planting, and it could sprout next week, it could sprout the year after, but
Yep.
you got to work everything, you got to do everything.
You never know where your next lead is going to come from. So you got to
Mhm.
sow those seeds everywhere. I think there was a Facebook group that we're all in. I won't say which one, but I think there was. actually every Facebook group is pretty much the same at this point. They're complaining about how there's no bookings,
Mhm.
right? And the thing is, I think this individual had been relying on maybe one or two sources of traffic, and those sources of traffic dried up. Okay,
Mhm.
and the thing is, um, as a marketing person like myself, I've always um, talked about the importance of making sure that you don't put all your eggs into one basket. You want to make sure that you have as many lines out as much as possible, because you never know where that next lead is going to come from. If you're just relying on one source of traffic, or you're just counting on that one source of traffic to give you all your business, there's a small chance that that traffic source might go away. So
Mhm.
um, it's always good to kind of plant your seeds everywhere. You know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah, I always say ever since I started this business to try everything at least once. I didn't care
Hmm.
if people told me there was something negative about it. Like we did the knot, we did, we talked about this last week, but we did like trade shows. We've done it all just to see what sticks. And right now, what's kind of really stuck is the referrals and social media.
Right.
Yep.
Um, yeah. I mean, there's no reason for me to do ads. I just do ads just to learn it, so I know it, I understand it. I think only you guys know this. I don't think the general public knows this, but I bought a course on how to do TikTok 2 days ago.
Ben's gonna be dancing on TikTok within a week.
I bought a TikTok course, and it wasn't that expensive. And I haven't started it yet because I have to get through an SEO course too. So I bought an SEO course about 2 months ago. I've barely gotten through the first two modules. I think there's like 10 or 20 modules. But
Wow.
in any case, there's a lot of information in there. Shout out to Dylan and Corey from View Your Photos. They are amazing at what they do. Have you met with them before? Have you met them at WPPI?
No, well, I have a call with Dylan in a couple of weeks.
Oh yes, you work with
Mhm.
Dylan, right?
Rolando met him at the bar. Remember Rolando? At the
He
at
was
the
drunk.
center bar. Were you drunk?
No, I wasn't, but
Oh,
I
it's the
met
day.
so many people
It's the
at
day
that
you
bar.
guys arrived, and then Jen, Steph, Moses went to the room. You stopped by, and then you never left. Remember?
Oh yeah,
Uh,
you know what happened? Ben was introducing me as his Filipino friend to everybody. So like at one point, I don't know how many people we talked to in like 5 minutes.
I was the funny thing in Vegas, I was introducing Rolando to people he already knew much better than I did.
Yes.
Um,
Ben, you were definitely drunk that night.
that was my natural self. You know what I mean?
No, you had like
Um,
No,
three
you
old
very
fashions.
yeah. So in any case, the thing is, I'm always a huge proponent of always trying a lot of new things, but also even if you think you've got a handle on things, right? You think that you have SEO figured out, you think that you have social media figured out, right? You got to continue learning all that stuff because the thing is, the stuff that worked 5 years ago is probably not going to work today. The stuff that I used to get clients, like 10 years ago, I used to rank the first two, three pages. I dominated those first two, three pages of Google. If you were to Google like New York City hall weddings, I used to shoot so many of those. I would shoot like maybe one or two of those every single week because nobody figured out how to keyword just yet. I was the only one who was keywording for that stuff. And I was shooting those like every single week. Once people figured out how to do that, right now, what I'm doing is no longer working. You got to figure out how to do it differently. So that's why I bought the course. But again, there was no urgency for me to kind of like upgrade my SEO skills because at that point, now I'm getting referrals from venues and vendors and stuff like that. So,
Yeah.
so there's no urgency. But even when there's no urgency, you should still kind of keep your ears close to the ground. Attend classes, attend workshops. That's why I go to WPPI to kind of keep my ears close to the ground and talk to the people who know more than I do, and kind of pick their brains a little bit. Well, maybe not there, but maybe like when we return back home, to pick their brain a little bit more. That's why we go to these things to network and learn from others. You know what I
Yeah.
mean?
And not just try these things, but try them consistently for a long-term basis. I think since we're such a culture of instant gratification, we give up on things instantly, and like then these methods of marketing we feel like they're not working, and then we just leave them behind, and then we start blaming external causes of why like
Mhm.
business is not doing well.
Yeah.
I think we have to start looking more internally, and whatever we are starting to do, really stick with it and be very consistent with it, and then you start seeing the results.
Right.
Yep.
You guys were at my little workshop class that I did last week for dim sum. How was your first trip to dim sum, by the way?
It's okay.
Yeah, wasn't bad.
All right. So the next
Wasn't
one we're
bad.
gonna do pupusas. We're gonna do pupusas and marketing, sales and marketing. Okay. So for those of you guys in the chat,
Pupusas and tamales.
and tamales, no problem. So for the next one, we'll do pupusas and tamales and sales and marketing. Okay. So
I
those of you
will-
guys
I-
in the chat.
And I don't want to say that to discourage Victor, who was very, very kind to order everything for us. So it would have been a way worse experience if we were left to our own devices. So thank you.
Yeah.
Victor,
Well, I had
for
Gary. I had
ordering
Gary
for
at
us.
my table. He ordered the whole universe too. So I mean, yeah.
After a while, like I feel like everything just tastes the same. Like it's
Yeah.
just different texture, but like
It tasted
very
like
similar.
MSG and different textures of MSG.
Sometimes some dumplings. Yep.
No, you have to go on the weekends because you guys experience a limited menu. So you have to go back on a weekend. So what we'll do is go on a weekend. But unfortunately, if I were to plan a class on the weekend, nobody would show up
So
because
on weekends, they dim sum. They usually have these
Have a
carts,
cart.
and they have like all these fresh food, like layers of fresh food. Like you just pick while they're, carts going around.
yeah. So we'll do that. Well, listen, if you guys want to join us in the chat, you guys want to hang out with us on a weekend, let us know. We'll invite you
We
along.
have three weekends off. Coming
Get
up.
out, me too.
Us too.
Party.
Yeah, party at your house. When is the pool open? When is the pool open?
I'm probably gonna wait till like May because like the last time I
Oh,
opened it too
damn it.
early, and it was just a shitload of pollen every day. I was like, you know what, this is annoying.
Yeah.
I'm gonna wait.
So anyway, I got sidetracked, but last week at my talk, my opener, before we get into the sales and marketing thing, was that, I think the biggest challenge that people have with their sales and marketing is that they think they have a sales and marketing problem. They're not looking internally to see what else could be the problem. They think that they have to learn maybe some kind of secret Instagram method or maybe some kind of secret SEO trick that's going to get them clients. But the thing is, sometimes maybe their portfolio is not where they think it is. Maybe what they're charging for that portfolio is misaligned with what it's actually worth. You know what I mean? Sometimes I talk to people who are trying to sell like a $3,000 portfolio for $7,000-8,000 because somebody told them to. Okay. And sometimes that doesn't work. Yeah, sometimes it doesn't work. You have to be very honest with yourself and be honest with your clients and, understand what your offer is and how it compares with all the other offers that are out there in the market. So, but you're absolutely right. You need to look internally and see, make sure that your foundational stuff is all in order before we start working with the sales and marketing stuff. Listen, there are some people that don't answer emails for like 48 hours. No sales and marketing is going to help you if it takes you 48 hours to answer an email or answer an inquiry.
Yep.
One recent couple that we met with told us that they reached out to like 6-7 entertainment companies and not one got back to them.
I recently shot an engagement session, and I asked her how many people they reached out to. They reached out to 10. 8 of them did not respond.
That's
8
crazy.
photographers did not respond to the inquiry. I was like, I thought everybody was hungry. I thought everybody was like clamoring for work.
They're all
You
rich
can't
right
have. What's that?
now. They're all rich. They don't need the work.
They don't need it.
How do you have 8 inquiries that went out to these photographers and not one of them wrote back? She's like, you wrote back and somebody else wrote back, but we liked you better, so we went with you, right? But the other 8, no response. So how does that even happen? And I talked to another photographer, and she said that, oh well, sometimes my inquiries end up in my spam box. Well, you need to
Check
you
it
need to
regularly.
keep an eye on your spam
Yeah,
box
check
every
your
day.
Spam box too. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Mhm.
Yeah, something's goofy happening if you have inquiries going to your spam box. You should take a look at your contact form people, whoever's doing your plugin, or if you guys are using Squarespace or Wix or one of those like built-in platforms and stuff, like all-in-one platforms. Something is funky going on over there if the inquiries going through those forms are end up ending up in your spam. So
Yeah, and the same thing on Instagram too. I think it might have been Jason Nelson who just posted a reel today about. I think he may have found inquiries in his hidden message folder in
Yep.
Instagram. So in your DMs, there's a message request, and in message requests, there's hidden messages.
Yep.
Instead, he found, I don't know how, I didn't watch the whole video, but I think there might have been hidden inquiries in there. So any of those spammy hidden requestings, always check them no matter what, because you never know, especially now when more people are reaching out on social media and not your email inbox.
Yep.
So check every channel.
Really?
You probably have like 20 inquiries in your box right now, Ben, and you have no idea.
I have to take a look. By the way, I changed my phone cover. You guys see? I had a wallet and phone thing all in one,
Yes.
Oh,
and
yeah.
it was
You're
too
like
much.
an old man. You're like an old man.
Yeah.
with that thing.
I'm the old man in the group. Well, I am the old. All right, so let's take a look at the chat. Can you guys take a look at the Focused AF podcast chat? I'm going to take a look here. All right, it's our podcast. I'm sorry, our chat's been lighting up. A lot of it is John DeFiora and Mike Z. So let's see what's going on there. So that place is like a labyrinth with David Bowie. I don't know what that means. Mike Z 100%. John DeFiora says,
Oh, David
yes.
David Bowie.
Yeah.
Yeah, what about David Bowie?
The movie The Labyrinth.
I think he's talking about the Old Mill Inn.
Oh, is it like a maze? You know,
No,
sometimes I
it's
feel
just
that
an
way.
outdated place.
Well, sometimes I feel that way when I'm going through Pleasant Del Chateau. I've certainly gotten lost there before. Same thing with Legacy Castle. I always get lost there. I end up in the wrong ballroom, and I don't know how to get back. You know. Hold on, let me see here. Mike Z says the venues love to share the work too, especially if you send it really quickly. It makes a big difference. So I actually, I don't know about you guys. We used to make fun of Moses Cruz for sending out like sneak peeks within 24 hours. We used to tease him like, "What are you doing? Like, you just sit in the parking lot with your computer in the laptop."
Now you're
Sending
sitting
out-
in the parking lot and you're
No. I'm sitting like behind the curtains and during cocktail, like working on these on my laptop doing these sneak peeks. But like, yeah, I used to tease Moses about it all the time, and now I'm doing it myself. So I can't
also
say anything.
There's someone that came and just took the cake. This person
What?
delivers the images without even shooting the session. That person is Gary Fang.
They inquire for the engagement session, and then he's already delivering the maternity session. You know. Oh God! All right, so John DeFiora says it's because of the economy, people are scaling back, and maybe some weren't dating much during the pandemic, which is true. John said, people weren't dating during the pandemic. People are pulling out. Listen, I'm under no. Yes.
I will actually kind of dispute that. So I think about maybe half of the meetings or maybe more than half of the meetings we've had this year, they all met during the
Online,
pandemic.
yeah.
Everyone was actually dating very hardcore, but online, and then would wait for the opportunity to meet in person, and then that's when they connected. And now that it's been 3 or 4 years since the pandemic, now they've already reached the point of like, getting married.
Yeah. I do ask when these people met during the meeting. We could talk about your meeting process too, because didn't we talk about like why the hell are you asking all those questions, right? We'll talk about that in just a second.
Yeah, there was a post about it.
There was a post somewhere. It was like, why are you asking all these questions? I just want to get a quote, right? So we'll talk about that in a little bit. All right. Andres is here. Mike Z says the new venue Park Loft in Oceanport is really busy. Yep. They said that they're booked out till 26. They're getting 26 inquiries. I was just there about a month ago. Dude, that place is amazing. I don't think there's anything quite like it in Jersey.
It's
kind of snazzy
modern.
looking.
Yeah.
They
modern,
did
right?
it really nice. The wallpaper in there is really nice.
Yeah.
Nothing gaudy. Doesn't look like your typical Jersey venue.
Yeah.
We should let's open up a venue.
Let's
What,
do it.
the Focus AF venue. Where should we do it?
Where we'll have house rules that you can only hire the house vendor.
The house photographers. It's gonna be the four of us and maybe PPS. Let's let PPS in there.
Yeah.
We got to cover the whole price range, right?
Yeah.
And if they hire somebody else, there's a $1,000 fee
Yes.
to bring in an external vendor.
Who do you think you are, Landmark?
And they don't get to eat cocktail.
And you're not allowed to eat cocktail, and you're not allowed to use the bathrums, and you have to wear a
to wear-
jacket, and you have to come in through the kitchen.
You have to wear tuxedos
Yeah.
and suits.
You have to wear a
and
tuxedo to work, or else you're banned from the property.
I mean, we spoke about it briefly yesterday when we were talking about like why some venues are doing better than others, which is the same thing that applies
Oh,
to
yeah.
photographers.
Oh yes,
doing
yes,
better
yes,
than
yes,
other
yes, yes,
photographers.
yes, yes.
Is that the venues that we know that are doing really well, like Corona, Cross Keys, Park Chateau, Park
Airbrook.
Loft.
Rock Island.
They have a killer social media game. They are now offering
Super active, super
no-
active.
They're now providing spaces that are more unique, modern, and they know how to market it. Like, why do you think the refinery at Corona Farms is booking up as much as it does? You can't find a venue that looks like that anywhere else. You'd have to go to Manhattan and maybe get a space that you don't have to bring in tables, chairs, and decor. So, like, that's why they were really killing the game. Is they changed it up.
But also, what have all those venues done over the years?
Yep.
They've renovated. They've been updating.
They
you know?
update, renovate like every year, at least
Every couple of months, they're doing something new, right? Like, I think by next year, Rock Island's going to look like Bear Brook.
Island is- oh
I'm kidding. I'm kidding. Just in case it gets back to just in case it gets back to Perry. Just in case it gets back to Perry and Michelle.
Upkeep,
What happened?
renovate, and they have an Airbnb too now. They bought like a whole.
Yeah,
bunch.
they bought the properties across the street, across the lake, and
Guess who's
he bought
doing that
both
now?
houses.
Guess who's
Who?
doing that now? Perona. The
Ah.
grandfather's house on the property, I think he may have passed away. The one across the street from the Pines. It's going to be an
Uh-huh.
Airbnb.
Yep.
They stole our idea.
But they had what do you call it? They have Perona has 2 houses down the street where people get ready. Yeah, they have 2
Well,
cottages
they
there
have-
already.
They have 3 now, 4 now. They have
Yeah.
the 2 cottages in the parking lot, the 2 houses, the carriage house, the Berg house, and
Yep.
now there's another house that's going to be an Airbnb as well.
Because
And that's
they
what people
do,
are looking for.
and
yeah.
they do like 3 weddings at a time, right? Prona. Yep, that's what they need. They need the houses. Yep.
Yeah, they need the houses, but that's what people are
On-site-
looking
and
for.
A lot of these venues, another common thing, they have on-site prep locations too.
Yeah,
So
nobody
making
wants to
it
get married in a little dungeon with no windows. You know what I
Yep.
mean? Now you
Yep.
have a little cottage for them. You have a little house for them. Everyone's happy. It's super duper convenient. That's what they're looking for. So we had this conversation yesterday. The 4 of us are like, what are these venues doing that are keeping them booked 2 years out? You know what I mean? They're constantly improving themselves. They were already stellar venues to begin with. All right, Cross Keys was already amazing. Rock Island was already amazing. Park Chateau is already amazing. But they keep updating. Even Anita's in the Park out in Newark, right? They added a chapel within the last 12 months, right? They added a chapel. Park Savoy also added a chapel in the last 18 months, I think.
Yep.
Right?
During
So they're
COVID,
just
during COVID.
Yeah, everyone was upgrading, updating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so like how do we apply this to our world in photography is like just constantly work on your craft, constantly work on your marketing. If you got a little downtime right now because you're not getting a lot of work, use that time to get better at your craft, get better at your sales and marketing, fix whatever's broken in your business. Like I know for a fact right now that my social media game's not as strong as it should be, that it can be. Same thing with my SEO. Like I'm going to use this little downtime that I have to work on those things.
Yep.
You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yep. This is time to educate and improve ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I want to buy the sign up for Sue Bryce thing.
Oh, for the Portrait Masters?
For the content, the content creation.
For content creation, of course.
Mm.
Yeah.
Karis wants to be TikTok famous by year's end.
Not
Well-
TikTok, but yeah, I want to be. I eventually like I've noticed they, your audience want to see you instead of like all your beautiful photos. Yes, those are good, but like they want to see you. You know who you are, and like so I'm gonna try to be in front of camera more. So I got a little selfie ring light stand thing. I haven't opened the box yet, but yep, that's the goal for me today. I mean this year.
She buys all this shit and she doesn't open the boxes.
No, that's the only thing.
That's also another form to filter out potential clients too. You
Yep.
know, you want to attract people that mesh with you well, and the people that don't, and they see how your personality is, they're like, I'm not going to inquire with this person
Right,
because
right.
we don't mesh. That's fine, but
Yeah,
but
that's fine.
But the more you put yourself out there, the more they'll get to know about you.
Yep.
And I want to say, putting yourself out there in a way. I know a lot of people say they're just not comfortable. They feel it's disingenuous. That's not who they are, or they think they have to be dancing in TikTok videos or pointing at the screen. I say just even showing a little bit of you behind,
Yep.
not even you, just whatever you do on a daily basis behind the scenes.
Right,
It
right.
could be
Yes.
the most mundane, boring thing, but
Love
potential
it.
clients or clients will see it. They'll get to know you, and they feel more comfortable with you, and
Mhm.
that builds your brand awareness. Like me and Ro never go on camera on our Instagram. Like this is the most. We're doing the most right now with you guys.
Right, right.
Because you guys love us so much.
But you'll see our dogs. You'll see like whatever we go out for a beer, or like we'll see us with our friends, whatever.
Right.
Just to give them an idea of like who we are, so they have that comfort level with us in advance, and they know who they're dealing with. And we all do the same with the brands that we all know and love. Like we feel more of a connectedness to them when we see people behind the scenes or what they're doing on a daily basis. I love seeing people's behind the scenes when they're
Mhm.
working
Yeah.
or when they're doing something mundane. Like it just, I don't know, it's that personal connection, and I feel like don't be
Right.
afraid to do that.
Yeah,
Yep.
I love the fact that I was, I saw pictures of Fundy suffering through his Spartan race, right?
Right,
I
right.
love the fact, I love the fact that, what do we see? Michaela making herself a cup of coffee, as she goes through her day, right? Like
Yeah.
the brands that I work with, I like seeing the humans behind it. But of course, if that's not you, a personal brand, like your brand is not you, per se, then maybe you can still find other ways to serve your audience. Like for instance, like this Miller's, do they have like a personal brand? There's no face to it, right?
Oh, there
Do they?
is. They are showing
yeah.
all their employees on Reels every day.
Shout out to Bree
Yeah.
from Miller's.
Uh-huh.
She's been killing their social media. So we see
Uh-huh.
the videos of them making the albums. They've been
Perfect.
doing funny Reels, funny TikToks. Like
Oh,
Yep.
really?
now you're more connecting with their
Mhm.
staff, and of course it's
That's
employees
awesome.
that agree to do it. Like you can't do it with all your employees, but even if your brand doesn't have like if you're a larger studio, show the people that work in your business. Like Mike Z does this. You know who Tiffany is, you know who other shooters are, and you're not
Mhm.
walking in expecting to see a total stranger. So I
Mhm.
think
Hmm.
it doesn't even matter. Even I'm going to keep going on and on about marketing and personal branding, but even
Let's go.
big brands like Base, like it's a luggage company, but you know who's behind the scenes. You see the employees. It's
Mhm.
always
Yep.
that interpersonal connection that you need to have.
Hmm. Yeah, 1000%. Let me take a look at the chat real quick. Can you guys take a look at your chat? And I'll go through mine. Mine's a little busy. So let me see here. David Lopez is here in the house. He joined us for the dim sum meetup. Dave,
that's right. Yep.
David, how did you like the dim sum? How did you like the class? Let everyone know in the chat. Hopefully, you'll meet us for the next one for pupusas and tamales. Which one? We're gonna go to El Criador. We'll go to the one that Ro likes.
I'm not sure we could fit everybody in there. We'll probably.
Well,
Yeah.
well. I'm very humbled that you think that I can fill the house, but for all we know, we might only get 6 people to show up to this thing, right? But if we can get 20, I think we could fit 20 people in there. That'll be awesome. We'll have, we'll make their day. But we'll go to the one that you like, all right, Ro? Because I know that you were a little upset that we went to your second favorite.
Place. Yep.
We went to his second favorite pupusa place.
The one in Elizabeth fits a lot of people.
El Salvadoreño.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one.
But I need
that
a
was
space. I need a space to host the workshop. That's the thing. And I kind of worked out a deal with the coffee shop where I
Alright.
can return.
There's the other place that we went to that was closed that makes the pupusa pie, Cecilia's.
Right. That one seems a little bigger too, right?
Yeah, that one's
Yeah.
bigger. So that one we
A
could probably
pupusa
fit.
pie? What?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
make a pie
That's
version
the place
of.
Rolando wanted to go, right?
Yeah.
At first, yeah.
And it was open, but it was closed. It was kind of weird.
Yeah.
Yeah, go talk to them. These are your people. Go talk to them. I'll
Set it
go
up.
in there with my Spanish, and we'll get chased out of the place. All right. So, John DeFiora says he needs to get on TikTok. That'll be awesome. John DeFiora says, "Ain't nobody need no chicken feet." Hey, man, don't knock it till you try it. Hey, Melinas, did you guys have chicken feet?
No, but
I
Grizel
didn't.
did, and she did not enjoy it. So we
Oh,
didn't try it.
Jackie.
I was gonna try it, and then I asked Grizel, "How is it?" She goes, "It's not my thing." I said, "I'm not trying it then."
Oh man. So funny story. Jackie Marina. I think she's in the chat right now because I see her name. She's like, yeah, I'm adventurous. What are you talking about? I can do this too. I was like, okay. So I told Gary, I was like, listen, go easy on her. Give her an ankle or something like that, right? Something that's not like. Give her an ankle. Don't give her the toes, right? Give her the ankles. It's a little bit more. It's like a drumstick at that point, right? And fucking Gary gave her a toe, right? Like I'm like, why did you do that for? Anyway, she ate it like a champ, and I am so proud of her. But she said it was all right. You know, it was all right. But Grace and Hector, they devoured it. Like all the chicken feet. They were like, wow, wow, wow,
I
wow.
don't like Chinese chicken feet.
Chicken feet is chicken feet.
No, it's the marination and how they cook it. Korean chicken feet are better.
Whatever.
Korean food is good.
So John DeFiora. So John DeFiora, he said that if we open the venue, he's going to be the maitre d'.
Oh my god. We'll probably get canceled. We're going
to get canceled in the first week. Well, I don't know John DeFiora you guys know him.
The memes that this guy sends me every day.
Oh my gosh, so funny. So John DeFiora says you had me at cheese and beans. That's what Babusa is, right? They do make it cheeseless, right?
Only for you.
Yeah.
It's just only for me. But where's the joy in that, right? That's like a cheeseless pizza. Where's the joy in that? I had a Google number once and missed a few inquiries that way years ago. So John DeFiora, he had a Google number that he wasn't checking, and he missed a few inquiries.
Oh, shit.
But really, you know what? Speaking of phone calls coming in for inquiries, I've actually, in the past 2 months, I've had 3 parents call my direct line.
So weird.
The thing is,
this is actually another thing we talked about on Saturday about inquiries for this year. I don't know, for us, we feel like we have a lot of short-term weddings happening where it's usually parents or somebody
paying for it
or helping. That's why we were saying trend of slower schedule timeline for wedding booking, because parents are paying for it. They don't need to year, 2 years
save up. They don't need 2 years to save up for the wedding because mom and dad are paying for it.
Gotcha.
So it's so funny because my phone would keep ringing. I'm like, who the fuck is calling me? No, who has this number one? And then and just keeps calling and leaving messages and stuff. And that's when I call back, right? So, but yeah, I got 3 parents who booked for their kids. And I think out of the group, like the 4 of us, I think I get the most parents. You guys don't deal with a lot of parents,
sure.
right?
It's so rare. What does happen is we'll meet with the couple, and then the parents are paying. So the parents will schedule the payment with us or something like that. But they don't really deal with us as far as anything wedding related besides that.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't mind it, but it's a little awkward. It's a little weird.
That's the perfect time to prepare them for the Parent album.
To sell them a Parent album, upsell them on the Parent album.
I think usually if parents are the ones kind of doing the meetings and paying for it, I think they will get Parent albums.
Oh yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. One that I spoke to, he really wanted Parent albums and pricing up front, and I was like, okay.
So John DeFiora says the place looks like Tetris designed it. Are we still talking about the Old Mill Inn?
I think so. The ceiling there is like is it popcorn ceiling?
Popcorn and
oh my god, popcorn ceiling?
Really?
Yeah, so
Old Mill Inn. I don't think I've ever been there before.
It's such a short ceiling, and then where they set up the sweetheart table is between all the tables, and it's very hard to get through to shoot the toast. It's an odd layout.
Yeah, there's some
staff
places
is really
that
nice though.
Yeah. John DeFiora has another story. He's very chatty today. So here's one for you. I shot with a photographer recently who was going to make a same-day edit and then stopped because they didn't want to take away from the moment. Some photographers use this as a marketing strategy where they'll, they'll do 20 sneak peeks and then they'll put them on a laptop and then they'll put it on a high top. Somewhere in the cocktail area or by the bar or something like that. To me, I think that is potentially taken away from the day, right? And I don't do that. What I do, and I'll share this with you guys too, this could be a marketing thing for you guys too. I print a box of Polaroids and right then and there, I print about maybe 10 or 15, depending on how generous I'm feeling. And then I box it up, I wrap it up, and then I'll have it on their table. And it's up to the couple whether or not they want to share that, all right? But I'm not taking the guests away from celebrating the wedding day. I'm not taking the couple away from celebrating the wedding day. I might chat with them. Like I'll personally thank them for about a minute or 2 minutes before the speeches start getting going, and I'll thank them. I'll tell them that the gift is there. And I have little videos of them enjoying it. But that's like 2 minutes, and then they go into speeches. Right? I intentionally do it right before speeches, so that way they sort of kind of forget about it, and they can get back on to celebrating the wedding day. So that is my workaround to not taking the magic away from their wedding day. But I still want to make sure that they get a gift, because that is very powerful. That is something that you can do on a personal level that will make you memorable. I once talked to one of our photographer friends. I don't know if he's in our group right now, but I asked him. I was like, "Do you give your clients any gifts?" He was like, "I am the gift. My photography is the gift, right?" I was like, "Well, no. What, like, do you give them anything physical or anything extra beyond the what you contracted for?" They're like, "No, my photography is the gift, right?" So I was like, "Okay, whatever." So what am I to say, right? What am I to judge? But in any case, if you guys kind of want to step up your referral game, I do think that gift giving or going a little bit above and beyond what you have contracted goes a long way. Because I think the Molinas do this as well. Like when they book with you, what do you guys do?
So they get a welcome kit with our magazine that goes through the entire experience of working with us, and like what to expect for engagements, wedding, planning for your wedding, planning for whatever, the whole big thing. Starbucks gift card, a couple of cookies that one of our past bride makes for everybody, and
It's custom cookies.
custom cookies. Yeah.
Oh, with their names on it too?
Yeah, like their initials and the
Nice.
date,
Oh,
and
And a camera that says JR.
yeah.
camera. Yep, camera. I know. So you guys custom make cookies like every time they book?
I don't make them.
I know. You're the cookie maker. the
Yeah.
little.
So we once had a cookie maker approach us, because we wanted to steal that idea too, right? But I didn't want to steal your person. I know your person, and I didn't want to steal her, right? So we had
not?
another cookie person approach us, and she's like, "Can I get a sample? I want to taste your cookies." And then she brought it over. It was the most disgusting set of cookies I've ever had in my life. I was like, I can't send these. I can't send these to the clients.
It was beautiful cookies, but
You can
also,
totally
like,
use
okay.
you can use our cookie lady. Like you did the sister's wedding, we did her wedding.
I did.
It all works together. It's fine.
But the sister got me the hookup at the butcher block, right? So so I got my hookup over there. I got my utility out of them.
What else do we put in the box?
Chapstick.
Chapstick.
Candy? Do you guys put any candy, like their favorite candies and stuff?
It's J&R branded chapstick, and some clients have brought it to the wedding. They have
Whoa.
it. Uh-huh.
Whoa! What about throughout the year leading up to the wedding? You guys have them any more stuff?
No.
The
Well,
marketing subscription.
now we have a marketing subscription with us at our IPS team, and what they'll do immediately after the wedding, which reminds me I have to do that after this wedding. They send them like 5 or 6 prints from the wedding. Right after, so they get it within like a week or 2 of the wedding. What we used to do and go like, which was the biggest time killer, I would be in the post office for hours, was during the holidays. I would send like, I would get ornaments made with a wedding picture on it, and it was just so draining and it was just too much. So we've cut that out completely.
Ro, you shoot film occasionally, right, at weddings?
Yeah.
But it's only recently that you added it as a add-on. You offered it as an add-on, right? But before, when you did it just as an extra, whatever, at what point did you deliver those prints? Once you
So
developed them?
for some couples, I would like if they didn't get an album and didn't have a date for the reveal, I would probably post them on social media or just send it to them like earlier, right? Yeah, and it was more like a little surprise, like, hey, I shot some film for your
Right,
wedding,
right, yep.
and here are the photos. And then for the ones that had like an album meeting, they saw the film photos after the gallery was delivered, and we've gotten a lot of good feedback on it. Like it looks different than what we deliver. So like they described it as like it's like it has like an elegant but like vintage feel to it. So it's like a nice little surprise. And it, like, for those weddings, I only shot 1 roll of film, so it's just cost me about 30
$50.
Yeah,
Well,
like,
including shipping, all that, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Maybe
yeah.
about $50, right?
Yeah, a little less, but it's a nice little gift to them too.
Yeah.
Right. So altogether, the cookies, the chapstick, the little gift box, magazines, all that stuff, you're probably looking at least 100 to 150 bucks all in, right?
With marketing subscription, we're probably spend like
400
400.
in, actually.
Yeah,
Yeah,
Mhm.
400 in, right?
Mhm.
$400 each client. You're putting into your marketing budget to kind of nurture that relationship.
Mm-hmm.
You
Yeah.
know, it makes me
There
curious.
was
Like, what are other folks
there
doing?
there was a class. I think was it at MBA
It was
that
a
we
wedding
went to,
MBA. Yep.
and she
We
said
were in the same
that
class.
that her marketing budget for each client is 10%, and
Yep.
that's a goal that she's been like climbing towards.
Yep.
And 10% is a lot, but I mean, she's very that planner was very adamant of like that's the experience that she gives her clients, and
hmm
it's a no brainer to spend that 10%
Yeah.
to treat them and make them like. And also, I remember she said that she has like certain like a timeline of when to submit, of when to send these gifts. So
hmm
like she said, the best time is like 1 week or the week of the wedding to surprise them with something, because
hmm
that's when they're feeling the most stress. And she said, I think she said them like a movie package, right? To go see a movie
Mhm.
or something like that. If you do stuff like that, they'll remember that.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Like you've got to be doing something that your colleagues are not. You know what I
Mhm.
mean?
We thought
Um,
about movie tickets too. Yep.
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah. And
Um,
discussion. But I was like, what if it's, how do you know which movie theater is near them? You know what I mean? And I was like, I was getting into too much of a detail, and we're like, okay, forget it. Yeah.
we have some newcomers here. Jaya is here. I've never met her before. Is it Jaya or Jaya? I don't know, but I met her I met a lot of people in WPPI. Um, uh, but we only got a chance to talk for like 5 seconds because I was introducing Ro to like everyone at the Central Bar. um, David Lopez had the chicken feet soup. Wait, there was a chicken feet soup?
Oh, that was a secret menu.
I don't know. There was a chicken feet soup. I don't remember. Eric Kessler asks, "Do you shoot Polaroid or just print some photos and give them to the couple?" So, Eric, I shoot them on my Z8s, and then I have a little dongle that I actually no, it goes into my laptop. I do my edits, and it goes into my phone. From my phone, it goes to my printer. I have a Polaroid printer. The whole process, start to finish, takes me about 20 minutes. Because I'm not doing like 20, 30 pictures. I'm only doing like maybe 10 or something like that. Once upon a time, it used to be easier where I could just get the card right into my phone. But the thing is, the Z8s are so new that they don't read RAWs just yet. And when I edit the JPEGs, it looks completely off. So the only way that I can edit the RAWs is if I do my laptop. So for the time being, I'm editing them on my laptop. So I do have to remember to bring my laptop out. But
More stuff
dying.
to bring out. More stuff.
But at some point, the firmware will be updated, and I will be able to go back to my phone to do my edits because I do have my presets on my phone. But yeah, all start to finish, we're talking about 20-some minutes to get it done, and I can do it during cocktail. And I'm not a solo shooter. I never shoot solo. So while I'm doing this, my second shooter's out there doing grip and grins, cocktail details, reception details, and all that good stuff. Okay. John DeFiora says he wants to sniff Rolando's feet.
When
John
does
DeFiora,
when does your second get a break then?
when does my second get a break?
When they get home.
When does your second get a break? Do they
I
get
don't pay them to have breaks.
Oh.
I don't pay them to have breaks. I'm kidding. No, they take a break. They eat.
Right.
I don't know if I have any seconds. I don't know if I have any seconds in the group right now, but they eat.
Your wife? Hello, your wife? Hello.
My wife, by the way, my wife is not my second shooter. She's my co-shooter, number
I
one.
want to be just the second photographer. But anyhow, this Saturday I was shooting with him. Obviously, he was sitting down editing his photos and printing his things, sitting down, and I got him like 2 plates of food, which he finished, like he ate all of it, right? And I was doing all the details of the room, and I was just gonna put my camera down. He's like, "Did you go do grip and grins?" I'm like, "I don't do grip and grins."
That's right. Tell him, Karen. That's right.
Did you do grip and grins?
She was not contracted for grip and
Put my
grins.
camera
Sorry.
down, sit down for a little bit, drink a sip of water. He's like, "Did you do grip and grins?" I'm like, "Oh my gosh."
But we gotta-
do them?
Who doesn't do them?
we don't do grip and grins
Yeah.
unless they ask, which is rare.
Benno does them, obviously.
I do them. Minimum 20
Ben-
grip and grins from every wedding.
Ben is doing it for the parents that he's dealing with.
That is correct. 1000%. I deal with a lot of parents. They're like, what were you guys doing during cocktail hour? Were you guys eating the cocktail food? What the hell?
Yes.
So, all right. So John wants to smell your feet. John says, ask about the time we all went to eat after WPPI one year.
Oh,
Ask her about the time. We only got like 3 minutes. Can you do it in 3 minutes?
probably, yeah. So we all were invited to a German restaurant to eat, and they
Is that the
split
one where you
ta-
get spanked?
No, a different one. And
Oh.
Okay.
they split up all the tables in four. So like when the check came, whatever four like was every table was divided by four. So I think John only had like a small dish, and the people on his table were ordering beer after beer after beer, and he had to pay like $60 for a pad thai.
So he
was
felt
so
he
pissed. He was so pissed.
$60. That's why we have a fellow friend of ours who doesn't like to split the check because he
Yeah.
feels he's getting taken advantage of and stuff. But it's only when Gary's in charge of ordering, you know, he starts ordering the whole menu and stuff, then we get in a little trouble. But I'm kidding, Gary. I know you're watching. All right, guys. I think we're just about wrapping up for tonight's talk. Did you feel like you got everything off your chest this week about sales
I
and
don't know.
marketing?
We have 2 minutes left. Don't take that away from me either.
If you guys have any other questions about sales and marketing, like ask us now. You guys got 2 minutes, and we will answer anything you guys want to ask. We will answer anything you got. Anything in the podcast group? Is there any activity there?
Just Griselle was watching. Yay, Griselle. She was the only one watching from that page.
Our photo shoot tomorrow.
Oh, we
yeah.
do have a photo shoot tomorrow. So is we're interviewing Jonathan 4K, but is he shooting us as well?
No, we're doing a headshot for him,
Yeah, they're shooting him.
But we're shooting each other.
and we're
Yeah.
shooting each other.
Yeah, and just put on a tripod and self timer for group shots.
Should we bring a selfie stick?
This is podcast on a budget, guys.
It's a labor of love, y'all.
Yeah.
If,
Are we bringing all our
if-
gears or?
Yeah, like just bring whatever whatever you normally shoot with, because I figure we both need like a headshot, updated headshot, so we'll probably
Same.
want that. So we can at least do that. Get some like the group shot that we
Yeah.
want to use for the
Yeah,
podcast and.
Yeah, we need
Yeah.
some regular photos because the thing is the last 2 times we got photographed, it was once was by Sam Hurd, the other one was by Victor Lax, and they were all like, you know, we're doing wacky and weird stuff. There's not one normal, not one normal photo of us. Like I'm jumping in the air, Karis is throwing her hair around. Like I don't have a normal photo of me, you know.
That photo that Victor took with your hand and the reflection.
Amazing, right?
There's so many layers in that photo. I'm just staring at it. I'm like, all right, we have Karis here. Then we have
So
Ben in the
amazing.
reflection. Then we have the hand here. Like it's
Yep.
incredible.
So
Yeah, it's so
amazing.
weird. So
It's my
weird.
favorite
We'll talk
shot.
about it more tomorrow, okay? So anyway,
Awesome.
guys, thank you so much for joining us on tonight's live. I think twice is good enough. Twice is enough for 1 month. All right, I'm gonna drag you guys back in here. We'll make this not a super regular thing, but we'd love to
No.
have you guys come back.
No.
You guys make my job so much easier, you know. But guys, thank you
No.
so much for joining us on tonight's live.
Anytime.
Hopefully, you guys learn a little bit more about sales and marketing, how we're doing our thing. And
What screen capture?
we gotta do. Why do we need a screen capture? We see each other all the time.
To I don't know, to post it.
Yeah, we'll post it.
Go.
All right, one big.
Smile.
Okay, you get it. All right. So anyway, guys, thank you so much for joining. I got a coaching call I got to get to, but guys, thank you so much for joining. And I will see you guys next week.
Smile.
Adios.
Focused AF is a fun, business-focused podcast for wedding creatives.
Co-hosted by award-winning husband and wife wedding photography teams Ben and Karis.
And Jen and Ro, where we help fellow wedding creatives with their sales and marketing.
With laid-back conversations and real talk with some of our most favorite people in the universe.
And with that being said, are you focused AF?
I am focused AF today.
We are Focused AF.
I think I might be focused AF.
Welcome to the Focused AF podcast.